Welcome to Buffalo Boat Shrinkwrapping, Episode 1. This is the first video I'm making with voiceover. So I'm going to show you some of my work. This is myself and my father shrink-wrapping a 23-foot Wellcraft Eclipse. So this actual job took us a total of 1 hour and 26 minutes, and I run this video at 5 times speed. And I can walk you through what we're doing as you watch, so enjoy the show. So first thing I'm doing is I get up there and take off the tonneau cover, and my dad gets started on working on the lower strapping. He puts the loops in there so that later on he can run the lubber line that goes along the hull through those loops. So where those loops are that he's making, that is going to be the bottom edge of where the shrink wrap is going to come down to. Those are the homemade axles that we made to roll the shrink wrap off of. You'll see us put the shrink wrap on those later. Folding up the tonneau cover for the customer. He's going to go put that in his shed somewhere for the winter. Now I'm getting the height of my posts. Put my hand there because down below you get a better perspective of the height of the top of the post, so that's where I cut it with my skill saw. My dad's going to start working on the bridle for the front. The bridle is just a loop that you make so I can pull from the tip of the boat all the way back to the back, and he's getting the length of the line that's going to run along the top of the posts. So that's going to be the center line along the top that the shrink wrap is going to drape off of. Right here I'm trying to decide whether I want the placement of my front post to be in front of that portal window or in the back of the portal window. So right now I'm holding the post where I want it, and my dad is tying down the second point. I can tie down the third strap and the fourth strap. The fourth strap I use a different type of knot to pull it super tight, which pulls all 4 straps down very tight on that post. So while I'm working on that fourth tie down, my dad is getting the length of the lubber line around the hull. And he's just going to cut it, and then he's going to feed it back through all those loops. So he had made that bridle beforehand and gave me the full length of the strap that goes across the top. So I just pick that up and pull it tight from the front of the boat, tie it around the top of the first post, second post, and then I'm going to tie it down in the back. Just cut out a minute where the customer was talking to us. That's where we get the shrink wrap out of the truck, put it on our axles there. So I'm gonna get up and he's gonna unroll the shrink right off of that spool that we made, and I'll pull it over. So that's gonna unwrap long enough to cover the entire boat the wide way. So I'm gonna pull that over just enough to get below the lubber line on the other side of the boat, and he's gonna cut it just below the lubber line on this side of the boat, and we can pack up our roll and put it away, get it out of our way for the rest of the job. So getting the boat covered with shrink and getting the roll put away, this is ceremoniously the halfway point of the job. So now we're just going to square it out left to right, front to back, make sure we have enough, and once it's square, we get our torches and we can announce to each other that we're going to start cutting the shrink so that we don't adjust it anymore. So this is the part where we cut the shrink wrap right where the loops meet the straps so that we can fold the shrink underneath the lubber line. So that's why you see me lifting up and seeing where the loops are, so I know where to cut. That's the best part of the job right there. You'll see us throw the cutoffs on the ground, but those are recyclable and biodegradable. So we usually just ball those up at the end and hit it with the torch, shrink wrap it into a ball, and then put it in a recycle bin. At some boat yards, the recycle companies even come and pay for all that scrap. So right away, even before it's all cut, we get the torch out and start welding these sides. That way, if the wind picks up, it doesn't blow the shrink wrap around on us. So we like to get the edges welded right away. So where you see him welding right now, he's gonna take his welder and start welding up high. So that's a pleat where the shrink wrap is folded over. So we always weld the pleats as high as we can go, because as you shrink wrap the boat, those will start to pull out and you just need to add more and more heat. So we'd rather weld those closed right then and there. And sometimes on bigger boats, we even take a ladder and weld those pleats even higher before we start shrink wrapping the whole boat. That's me putting the pressure regulator on my propane tank that's just below the video frame there. And I have the torch with the long extension pole, so that's what I use to shrink wrap the whole boat. This is the best part of the job. It's very satisfying to watch, and it's pretty quick, and it signals the end of the job and can move on. That's a good looking shrink job right there. Not sure what I grabbed the ladder for on the backside. I'm either putting a vent up there or patching a hole. So right now I'm going by with the shrink wrap tape. So there might be holes from the torch, or there might be just sharp spots on the boat, such as cleats, that I'm reinforcing. It's a final touch-up phase. Here's where we pick up all that scrap shrink wrap and weld it into a shrink wrap scrap ball. Okay, so we are welding the top of that pleat on the ladder before we shrink wrap the top of the boat. I got the scrap ball all balled up. Now come over here and hit it with the torch. That's the job, folks. Now I'm just cleanup time. Thanks for watching.